Hey everyone, welcome to this week's Weekly Wisdom. My name is Carla and I'm the owner here at Love Is. If you haven't already, make sure that you click the link below to schedule your next virtual or in-person session with me and use the code Christmas25 to get 50% off that session. Thank you so much for joining me in this week's Weekly Wisdom on grief. Now, many times when we look at grief, we think about how it's just something that we experience when we have this very significant loss in our life, like that of a loved one, or maybe we had a change of jobs or a loss of a home where it really changed the way that we were living our lives. And during those times, we're really aware of that. And so we actually do try and walk through the processes of grief to get to a point of acceptance so that we can move forward with our lives. The problem with this is that we're not just experiencing grief in very significant times of loss. We actually experience grief on a very regular basis and sometimes even multiple times during the day. Just think about the last time that you were told no and the last time that you experienced something that maybe didn't go the way you thought it should or the way that you expected it to. Even in these simple forms, our ego experiences the stages of grief. Oftentimes, we are very unaware of this, and so we don't actually take the time to truly process that grief. And we maybe get stuck then in a certain layer of the grief, and we never make it to the true magical step of grief, which is that of acceptance. When we get stuck in a stage of grief and our ego stays planted there, it tends to eventually manifest as something very physical. Maybe it's indigestion, maybe it's blurred vision, or maybe you have a sore throat. All of these things are generally stemmed because we get stuck somewhere inside that process of grief. Now, for those of you that are unaware, there are 5 stages of grief, and this isn't by coincidence. The number 5 actually carries a very powerful and magical vibration of change and growth. So beautiful things happen when you actually get to the number 5, and especially in the stages of grief. Now, the first stage is that of denial. The second is anger. The third is bargaining. The fourth is depression or defeat. And the 5th is acceptance. Now, many of us understand the first 4 stages and can kind of see where we're maybe stuck there. And oftentimes we'll say, well, I've accepted that. But you maybe have this bitterness or this slight resentment to something still. And that is not true acceptance. You are still stuck someplace in one of those stages, whether that's in anger with frustration, or maybe that's in manipulation inside the bargaining. Either way you look at it, you're still stuck. Now, true acceptance, this is where the miracle of the lesson of grief comes from. True acceptance of something and allowing it to simply be what it is where our ego learns how to align with our highest self, where we learn to align with the highest version of what love is in its purest form. It simply is. Grief, by definition, is burden or to burden. It's a heavy, weighted feeling. And when you get to a true acceptance, where you can accept something for what it truly is in its truth and for what it is in your life and what it's trying to teach you, you no longer feel that weight or that burden of that grief, and you are free. You still remember the lesson. You still remember whatever it was that triggered you, but you don't feel the weight of it. And that's because it's truly aligned with love and the presence of true love. I hope that these messages resonate with you. Of course, I am always open for any comments that you guys want to share on your experiences with grief and if this actually resonates with you as well. Thank you again for everything that you guys do along your journey, because it does matter and it is truly important that each one of us stay on our own journey. Until we meet again, just know that you are truly love and you are truly capable of being loved.